Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. And as always, I'm Raleen Marks with today's headlines. Over the last, I'd say, week or so, we've been following very closely the story, the headlines about a 7-year-old little girl from Modi'in Illit who was allegedly raped by a 46-year-old married Palestinian, Mahmoud Qadusi, who also was the janitor at her school. Now, a lot of us were absolutely outraged and angry at the violation of this little girl. And as events or as the facts were made available to the public, so it seemed, to quote one police official, that there were too many holes in this in the story, in this case. In fact, he said that the case is like Swiss cheese. There doesn't seem to be enough evidence. Well, as of yesterday afternoon, the little girl was summoned to the police to give new testimony. And because of the fact that new evidence came to light, and we don't know what that evidence is, it hasn't been made public. The hearings were conducted in private. It has come to pass that there was not sufficient evidence to try and convict Mohammed Qadusi, and as of the last hour or so, he has been released and has proclaimed his innocence, and our hope is that there will be justice, or the perpetrator who is responsible for the violation of this little girl will be brought to justice, and that justice will be swift. Now, more right-wing elements within Israeli society were saying that this is perhaps a nationalistic crime, this is perhaps terror, and some even calling for the death penalty and his execution. But this is Israel, this is a democracy. We take all things or all issues that are in violation of the law very, very seriously and investigate to its fullest capacity. And we will be keeping an eye on the story to see how it progresses. As the events in Bahrain get underway today and tomorrow, the Manama Conference, which will discuss, amongst many things, the economic proposal put forward by the Trump administration that will deal with issues, day-to-day issues and quality of life, as well as humanitarian issues faced by the Palestinians in the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. So too have we anticipated an uptick in violence, and yesterday we saw evidence of this with no less than 13 fires set by incendiary devices that were flown over the border from Gaza into southern Israel, the worst being in the Alumim forest and the Nir reserve. And as of yesterday evening, firefighters battling to get those blazes under control. And we are watching the situation on our border and around the country very, very closely. Yesterday, Palestinians starting to demonstrate against the Bahrain conference. This has carried on into today. Effigies of President Trump as well as the King of Bahrain being burnt and further violence threatened. Now, the summit is underway, or as Jared Kushner described it, more as a workshop in order to get the ideas from the Arab states. It has started with a very, very busy schedule. We can expect former British Prime Minister and Special Envoy to the Middle East, Tony Blair, as well as the Trump administration's head of finance, Steve Mnuchin, to address attendees who will look at this Peace to Prosperity proposal, which aims to attract about $50 billion of investment into improving the economic situation for Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. It is a plan that, if you're a student of history or economics, looks a lot like the Marshall Plan. It's very much a bottom-up approach, and that if we can get a workable economy and improve the situation on the ground, then perhaps that is a significant step towards final peace status. We really hope that Peace to Prosperity is received warmly. However, there are not many high expectations due to the boycotting of the Palestinians of this proposal. So we'll be keeping an eye on Bahrain as well, and you can keep an eye on content that is uploaded to our website, layoftheland.online. That's layoftheland.online. Read all about Israel's phenomenal work in places like Senegal and other West African countries. We sat down with the former ambassador to Senegal, Paul Hirschson, who spoke about the incredible work that Israel is doing in that part of the world. So you can check that out on our website, and you can also check it out on our Facebook page, and you can like and follow us at Lottel Site. New content goes up every single day. Make sure that you are there to see it. And if you like this in your news from Israel Monday to Thursday, then simply click on the subscribe button below. And I'm Raylene Marks with the Israel Brief, again proudly brought to you by Lay of the Land.